Okay, for today's class, we will be looking at something like a rectangle light. Like yesterday, we talked about a rectangle light. Today, we will see one more advantage that the rectangle light has. It is having the property of making any image that you have. It can basically create that into a glowing, or a image could become a sort of light emitting stuff. For example, if you could see it, the down image out here. Okay, this image now I've just made it into a light emitting image itself. So this could be done with the help of rectangle light. Today I will show you that. Second thing is I will show you guys some advanced lighting settings that is possible only in Vray, like when compared to any other rendering softwares. Vray provides a lot of advanced lighting options. So I'll show you what that is be done, and then we will see how emissive materials can be applied. Vray has an option for providing emissive material, that is a material that emits light. Okay, that is a type of material. For example, if you could look into this render, when compared to the top one, you have a yellow band. That is basically a emissive material. Okay, that is being used in this render. And the next one is about a spherical light, Omni Light, Spotlight, and Mesh Light. Okay, Omni, Spot, and Spherical Light. I'll tell you when we do it. Mesh Light is the ones that you are seeing in this image. The light that is surrounding the frame. Okay, such a light work or a LED strip that runs around the frame of it could be done with the help of mesh light. Okay, this could be also used for creating cove lightings as well in your false ceiling designs. Okay, so that is what we will be looking at for today. Today will be a little more like a session where in which you will try enhancing your render from this point to the ones that I'm seeing in the down. Okay, so that is what you are gonna see today. Let us go to the SketchUp file that we were working on yesterday. So this is where we stopped yesterday. So first thing that we will be seeing is how we could create a image that is glowing. Okay, image that is producing a light. So for that, I'm going to asset editor, pressing on it, so it will come to an option like this. Go to settings and make sure your both CPUs and your graphics card is ticked so that the render is fast. Then make sure it is in interactive mode. Okay, this is the ones that I've already told to be made sure. Make sure this is less than 7, image settings to be less than 1000, so that it is easy for the render engine to render to happen. And then we will go on to the ones that is to create a image, okay, that is glowing. For that, what you need to do is go to lights. Out here there is lights. Okay, we yesterday saw the 3 types of lights that has been set up already. Okay, on to this frame, that is the side light and the top light, and one more light was there that I suppose is an extra thing that I deleted later. Okay, so I can just delete this one. You just press it and you can just delete it. It'll ask whether you need to delete the selected asset. You can just give delete, then that will go off. Okay, so now I need to produce a image out here that glows. For that, what you need to do is select the rectangle light, just draw, just place from one point to another. Now just treat it like a image, like a component of SketchUp. That is what Vray is capable, what Vray is meant for doing. Okay, you can do substance like light, objects, anything like a component in a SketchUp itself. Okay, that is what is to be done. Then you can see that there is a option that comes about here. You can rename this as image. Okay, I'm just typing it as image, and then select this, go to left option. Okay, there is an arrow like here. You just click on the left option. You can see there are a lot of options out here. Okay, in here you can see there are many options. Now, yesterday I told you like this here, you could basically increase and decrease the intensity of it. Fine. So if you need to add a image onto it, what you need to do is, first thing, check the box that is seen out here, so that you will get a dark rectangle out here. Okay, that is the first thing that need to be done. And the second thing is that click on this, then you will see an option known as bitmap. You can select bitmap, and then you can select the image that needs to be placed on here. Now I'm just placing a image that is, let us see which image to be going here. Okay, let us be a landscape image and just opening it. So you can see there is a landscape image that is being brought here, and you can go back with the help of select. Okay, so we'll just go on for the next thing. So you can see that out here in the test render, what happens is, here in this area, it has basically applied a image, and that image is now trying to give the light. Okay, that is what is being done. So you can increase the lighting as well, and see that it starts increasing its intensity. Okay, if you start increasing it, it becomes more and more prominent. So this would be easy if you could produce it as a TV, or it can be also used at places where you need to give a background for like a window. Okay, you need to provide a window, and you need to create a fake what a fake setup of a background, okay, onto the window. You can basically use this. Fine. So you can also change the units out here. Radiant power is the unit that will be really powerful. Okay, if you want to get a render, that means you need a light that has been really powerful, just change it to radiant power. Okay, it will be really intense. Okay, you can basically adjust the intensity with the help of here. Fine. That is the thing. That is what I wanted to tell about the images that is being used. Cool. So next is regarding the advanced settings that is available. So if you go on to the rectangle light, the normal rectangle light that I have, not the image, the normal rectangle lights that is present out in the SketchUp. So once you go there, and you can see that you have a setup like this. I've told you about the color yesterday, that if you want to press this, you can basically change the color. That is one possibility that is there. Second thing is, you can change the intensity. That is also told yesterday. Now I just told you about the units. These are different units with different intensities. Okay, that is being used. You can either choose default, and I normally use radiant power because it is more easier for me to control. And then it is the then one more option in rectangle is that you can change this rectangle illuminating surface in light into a disk as well. That is a circular light. Okay, if you could see, now it just changed into circular light. If you go back, you can see that if I give it a test render, you will see that this has changed into a circle. Cool. So this has changed into a circle out here. So that is one option. And here it is default. I can just give it to a radiant power, and you can just check which one it is basically giving the light. Okay, so whichever it is, or the intensity is low, that's why. Okay, so you can give the intensities, then you can also give the size of it. Okay, when you are using rectangle, it was having u by v, which means that it is the length and breadth of the rectangle light. And next you have something called direction. Direction, what happens is, it basically converges the light, okay, towards a particular point. The more directional it is, the more focused it gets. So that is what this does. So if you could see that in the render, it starts getting directional towards the specific point. So that's what this directional does. But I don't specify to use this direction as much, because this would be only if you are using a sort of a ceiling light or so, then you can basically go for this direction, or just keep it normal itself. Then you have another setups that are the options, where in which you can see there is an option called as invisibility. Okay, If you check invisibility, what happens is that the surface that is being used, okay, that disappears. That will not be available, but the properties that it does holds. That is, if you click on invisible, you can see in the render that the light that was the source of light, okay, that disappears. And it but it provides the light to the surface that is required. Okay, the light is being provided, but the source of light disappears. That is the thing that happens if you check this invisibility. If I'm unchecking it, it will come back. This is useful if you want to add, like if you want to have just to give a sort of window frame or so windows light, but you don't want to show the window, then you can basically use this. And then there is an option called no decay. No decay means if you press no decay, what happens is that this intensity is low, so just increase the intensity. Okay, so no decay, what happens is that the light's property is that it, as it travels, the intensity of the light reduces. So if you press no decay means that it will keep on giving the same intensity as it goes on. Okay, so if you want a much realistic one, you can basically give you can just uncheck the no decay. If you are providing something like you are basically rendering it as such without the sunlight. Like yesterday I just told everyone to uncheck the sunlight. So if you are not using the sunlight and you want the render to be produced, then you can basically give no decay, because sunlight is a stuff that is provided everywhere. Okay, so when you provide no decay, it causes the light to be everywhere. Okay, so that's what it helps. And next is the double side. If you could go to the top of the rectangle light, you can see that this other side of it does not produce any light. Okay, but if you check the double side, what happens is that both the side gets illuminated. Okay, it becomes a double way what light producing substance. Cool. So that is one thing that this helps you. Then there is another options like diffusion, specular, and reflection. This is diffuse is the light's capability of diffusing, and that is also being used. Okay, and specular and reflection is that if it hits a if it hits a surface, how much should it reflect back? Normally it is kept 1. If you are using a substance or you are using any place wherein which you want the light to be reflected less, then you can basically reduce it. Okay, so the walls or the substance that is trying to get reflected gets reduced. Fine. And then this resolution, that is a texture resolution, that is the textures that has been applied on the material gets enhanced or not. So normally it is kept at around 600 to 700. You can keep it like that or so. Okay, so that is basically used. Caustic photons are not that much important as for us. uh, so this is the advanced settings that is being available for lights. This is the same settings that is available for the other set of lights as well, but there are some lights or so that are basically not having these many features. Like the Omni lights or so does not have these many features because they are a sort of invisible light. Okay, I'll tell you that when we go on to this. Cool. So now you basically understood two things, that is how to produce a image, how to produce an image that is illuminating, and you basically understood what are the different advanced settings that are available for the lights. Got it? Just doing the test center and just seeing it. So this is what is the renders that we got. Okay, this is the render output that we got from here. So till this much, any doubts for anyone? Any doubts?
No,
Uh,
sir.
okay. Uh, just pardon for what has just happened in between, because I also don't know what just happened. I got something happened to my WebEx platform. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we will go on to the next one, that is how to apply emissive light. Okay, emissive light means it is a material. Okay, not emissive light, emissive material. So if you could, I'm just stopping the render by clicking it, and then I'm going on to the arrow that is in this side. Okay, the left side of mine. If I click it, you will see a box that is coming up. I'm just closing this one by pressing the arrow again, going to material, just drop menu, just checking the drop menu, then you will see there is an option known as emissive here. Okay, so this is a type of materials that basically gives you the effect of a light getting emissive or a light emitting source. Okay, so if you want to provide that, you can basically provide it. You can go to the materials out here. You can just drag and drop it. Okay, whichever ones you feel is to be used. For example, there are LED 8000K, there are LED 55000K. That intensity has been mentioned. There are LED super green, there is LED super red, there are like digital clock views and so on. Okay, now I'm just putting this LED yellow, okay, out here, dragging, dropping it, then you will get it here. Just select it, go to the paint bucket, and just you need to put it onto the material. So as this is a component, I'll just go inside first and then I will apply it. Okay, so just going and selecting only the inside surface and then selecting it, and then you just saw that here it is. You can see that the material is coming up. Okay, just click it, so you get the materials done. And now just go out of your component or the group that you have by just pressing outside, and then just go to the scene that is already kept ready. And then if you render, you will see that a emissive material is being provided. Got it? This is the emissive material. You can change it. You can change the color of it as well by just going to the left side. You can see there is a option called colors and the intensity of the emissive material, and also you can produce transparency for it. You can basically make it less transparent. You can also increase the intensity of it. Okay, the light way you, if how much light you want or so, that you can basically increase. You can also change the LED's colors. Now itself it was yellow LED, but you can change it to red as well. Whatever typology you want, you can just change it. Okay, so that is one more good option out here that is available. So this is about the emissive material applying. This is also used when we want to have you have a bulb. Okay, so you can produce the light, but you can't basically show the emissions of it on the surface of the light. So you can basically put this material out there. Let it be a white LED. Just put this white LED 8000K out there, and you can basically get that effect. Cool. So that is what, and then you can basically change the intensity of it. So that is what is to be done. So I'll just stop the render. Then we will go on to the next type of material, sorry, next type of light, that is known as the spherical light. So you can see out here spherical light. So what is the specialty of spherical light is that you will get 360-degree lighting. Okay, means that if you select it, it will basically ask you for a point. Just give a point and just increase and decrease how much big you want the light to be. Okay, that is what is the second point represents. You just click it, you will get it. Okay, just treat it as a material. Just move it as you like. You can see that there is a circle. Okay, that is been formed. So if I render it, okay, I'm going to asset editor. I'm just test rendering it. Okay, you can see a goal that is basically a sphere that is producing light in 360-degree. Okay, go to the lights. You can see there is a spherical light. You can change the intensities. You can change the radiant. Basically, if you keep it radiant power, it is the most powerful one. So if you could just check which one is producing the most light out here, so you can test it out according to the wish. Okay, now it is the most radiance is basically producing the most light out in this case. You can increase this as well to 500 and so as well, which produces a really bright light. Okay, so you can just check according to the wish. 80 will do, I guess. Okay, so you can see that there is a 360-degree lighting that is being provided by this. Okay, so that is the possibility that this happens, and you can also change the size of it. Okay, you can scale it down and scale it up from here, or you can use the scalar tool out in the SketchUp as well. It will also do the same work. And you can go to the option out here. You can see the option known as invisible. Okay, the same as the rectangle. If you click on it, you will see that that disappears, but it provides the light. The light is being provided, but the material doesn't happens. Then there is no decay option, as similar to our rectangle light. There is same shadows, there is same diffusion, speculation, and refraction as well out in this case as well. So this is what spherical light is, but we don't need spherical light in this case, I guess. So anyway, let it be there so that you guys can understand what it goes on as it goes on. I'll just off it. You can click on the side of it so as to off this light. Okay, any light, if you want to off it, just click on the side, it will just get offed. Fine. Then you can stop the render. Till now, any doubts for anyone? No doubts?
No.
Cool. Cool. Then we will go on to something called as, okay, before Spotlight, I'll go to Omni Light. Omni Light means it, if what is the meaning of Omni? Omni means God. God. So it is something like a God light. That is, it is an invisible light. That's the meaning of it. Okay. So that is the use of it. It is similar to the spherical light, but it is an invisible spherical light. So that is what the Omni Light does. So if I want to place this Omni Light at the center. Okay, I'm just going inside the component, just clicking on it. So you will get something like this. Okay, and that's the shape it is. So you can see out here there is a Omni Light coming up. Cool. I'm just going out of this group and seeing what it is, and then giving a test render and checking. I'm just moving to the scene that it provides, and then I'm just going and giving a test render. Okay, it is really good if you have a split screen. Okay, because this will help you to basically operate in, if you're rendering, if you have a split screen, it is really good. If you don't have, basically I need to show it like this. So I'm just turning off all the other lights so as to understand what the Omni Light does. Okay, I'm going to the Omni Light, and then I'm changing it to the radiant power. So you can see what happened. The light is there, but it doesn't showcase itself in the render. Okay, that is what is a Omni Light does. So you can basically change the color of it as well, as similar to the other lights. Okay, you can just change the colors, you can change the intensity of it, and here you have no decay, inverse. This is basically the intensity at which it decays. Okay, so there is inverse square law, inverse cube law. That is, as the distance increases, the square of it gets reduced. Okay, the intensity gets reduced square times. So that is what it means. So it can be cube times as well. That is what it is does. And then you have the options. So here, if you could see that there is no option of invisibility, because this is already an invisible light. Okay, so that is what this Omni Light is about. So that is about the Omni Light, and you can see that now the render looks like this. So I am just owning the remaining lights so that you guys can see. So spherical light I'm offing, a top light. Okay, so this much is just reduce this density. Okay, cool. So we get something like this now. Okay, as the render. Now we will go on to something called spotlight. So spotlight is a light that is used so as to focus itself to something. Okay, so it can be done in two ways. Okay, it can be added to this screen in two methods. Okay, the first method is that you can select spotlight and choose a point to be applying the spot. Okay, just select on the spot, it will basically apply the spotlight. Okay, so that is what it does, and then with the help of rotate tool or the move tool, you can select it and then rotate it. or rotate to a point where you want to focus the light. Okay, that is what is the first method. Then the second method which I normally use, you can delete this, you can go to this thing, you can just left click and delete it. You'll ask, just delete it. Okay, then the second method is the most used method, especially by me itself. Go press shift. Okay, when you click it, then press shift, because before selecting any point, if you select it, you can see that now you are able to control it to a point where you need to focus it. Okay, so now I need to focus it to this chair out here. Okay, you can see that there's a yellow lighting substance that is coming up. So that is what it helps. Okay, now I just wanted to focus it to this table chair, so I'm just selecting this. Then you will have the second click, wherein which it tells you how much you need the angle, or the width of your the spotlight needs, the angle of it, the spread that is required will be told by the second click. Okay, and then you have the third click, which represents the decay. Okay, so you can basically click the third point, then you will see it is been applied. So if I give the render, you will understand what has happened. Okay, let us go to the scene. Then we would go to the spotlight, just off remaining light so that you can understand what spotlight does. Spotlight, this is because the units is different. Okay, just change it to radian power, you will see that it coming up. Got it? It is now spotting it. Got? So that is what this is all about. It just now became a spotlight. Okay, so that's what you, from this you can also change the intensity of it. Okay, you can increase it or decrease it according to your wish. Okay, I just want a small bright small light onto it. You can change the color, you can change it to yellow, you can change it to red, whichever spotlight you wish, you can change it. Next is the cone angle. Cone angle is the one that I'm telling. If you could see this render this image, it basically showcases what the cone image is. Okay, this basically helps in spreading up and spreading down. Okay, and as it is less, the more intense the light would be. And next is the penumbra angle, which is the spread. Okay, it is basically the diffusion or the decay happens between that penumbra angle. So if you increase it, the diffusion of the light happens. Okay, so that if you can see the render, you can understand what the penumbra angle does. Then you can also create the penumbra angle to be a linear or a smooth cubic. So linear means it basically changes according as a linear pathway. Or if it is a smooth cubic, basically you can't discriminate between the lights that is going upwards. That is, if it can, you can't discriminate the decay, okay, properly. So it becomes a smooth finish. That's it. Okay, between the layers. Then you have the decay, how it needs the decay to be. Okay, so you have a decay which has basically inverse square law as well as the inverse cube. Uh, as mentioned before itself, same. Then you have the options for shadows, creating diffusion and specular as similar to the same above image, above things as well. Above lights, how you did the same thing is being used out here as well. Cool. So this much is all about the remaining the lights. Okay, so this much is what was to be okay, so so it's a little bright, I guess. So many light, just reduce it a little. Fine. So you guys what, whenever you're doing, just check how it is working, how the lights are looking. Then you can basically increase the lighting and decrease the lighting so as to create a really good photorealistic render. Okay, like now what I did, I just changed the Omni Light and so